Hey, what's up everyone? HiScoreChef back here again with another deck profile, and it's one that has been requested a couple of times. It's my BeelStarmon. So for those of you who don't know me well enough to know, I've been playing Digimon card games since BT4, Great Legend, and that was typically my my kind of like beginning like arc, basically my I was it was my training arc. I was getting to figure out the game, know how to play, and things like that. And once BT6 came out, I started playing BeelStarmon, and that became my main deck. And ever since BT6, I've always been playing BeelStarmon. I've definitely topped at a couple of locals. I've won my fair share of store championships with BeelStar as well, and I've always had quite the affinity with the deck. Unfortunately, I feel like BeelStarmon really peaked. I want to say maybe around BT8 for me, right? I felt like BeelStarmon as a deck was very strong and at its strongest during the BT8 meta for me. Now, granted, there have been some nice support cards here and there now. Even in the current state of the meta, BeelStarmon is quite a bit of a contender. Even with the recent bans and limits, a lot of the support cards that the deck typically plays is no longer viable or even accessible anymore. So, with that being said, especially keeping in mind with the March 1st ban limit list, we can no longer run the notorious Gabu engine in this deck anymore, so it's definitely not as powerful anymore. So this is my revised BeelStarmon deck list going into March. So if you guys are interested in playing BeelStarmon and would still like to be able to enjoy playing BeelStarmon in the current meta, this is the deck list for you. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. That way you don't miss out on any of the Digimon content I do. And without further ado, let's get started. First, Digitama, I do the one copy of the Pagumon from Starter Deck 6. Reason I only play the one, I'm already doing enough normal milling straight from the deck with just the cards in the deck. So I just need the one because I still need a couple of effects that allow me to discard directly from my hand, which is why I'm playing 4 copies of the BT3 Demi-Meramon. Granted, it's really up to preference. If you feel like you want to do more milling from directly from the deck rather than controlling what you get into your trash through your hand, you could reverse this and play 4 of the ST6 Pagu and just 1 of the Demi-Mera. But typically, I'd say playing the full arsenal of 5 Digitama in your a Digitama deck for this for BeelStarmon is crucial. It just gives you more opportunities and more ways to build your trash. So I do a 4-in-1 split here. So that's our Digitama. For our rookies, ratios are definitely a little different, right? Typically, but I think it's fine. We got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 rookies. Yeah, it's weird, right? Typically the minimum is like 12 that people tend to like, but I'm doing 11 instead due to specific ratios and tech choices. But here we go. We're gonna do 2 copies of the Starter Deck 16 Gabumon. Great start of your main phase. You gain a memory if your opponent controls a Digimon, and inheritable for when attacking. Once per turn, you draw a card, then trash one. So just 2 copies here. We're going to use 1 copy of the EX4 Guillaumon. We're using this for the rush. This is a target for your nail bone. So for like those, mid to late game enders, you need, a couple more swings in to assure that you get that lethal hit into security. This is why this is here. So got to save this for later and make sure that this is in your trash. So you're going to leave that in your back pocket when you need it. Playing 4 copies of the Impmon X antibody from BT12. Reason why we're using this is solely for the inheritable. Really helps build that turbo into your trash from your deck by just milling every time you attack. It is a once per turn. You trash the top 2 cards from your deck whenever you attack. So this is mainly going to be focusing on raising in your breeding area, and then bring it out when you're ready to go into your champion and you start swinging. Then we got 2 copies of the BT6 Impmon. This is still a great card. It's actually been going up a bit back on TCG Player in terms of market price. It's definitely gone down, but then it's going back up to its usual price. It's around the $20 to $30 mark now. The highest I've ever seen this go was like 60 a couple of months ago, but I would definitely, if you guys like max rarity and alt arts, I would definitely grab these at the price they are now. Otherwise, they're just going to keep going up because of the hype of EX6, since this is a direct support for 7 Great Demon Lord. So I would get your copies while they're still low. But 2 copies, this is just a way to recur your BeelStarmons back to your hand, because it, of course, does support 3 Musketeer cards as well. So on play, you just trash any card in your hand, and if you do, you get to return a 3 Musketeer or 7 Great Demon Lord. And then finally, we have 2 of the starter 16 Elecmon. There are some turns where I just like to pass by just hard playing, right? And I don't ever like hard playing things without any sort of give and take, right? So I want to be able to actually get an on play effect when I play. So this is great to fill in that gap. On play, you get to draw 1 and trash 1. And then, of course, you know, if it survives, you have a body to the evil on top of. So it's 11 rookies, all, you know, trashing and building your trash. All right, next, my personal favorite, and the reason why I'm still playing BeelStar is the BT14 Devimon. This card is cracked in my opinion. Definitely one of the best purple level 4s I've seen in a while, and I feel like a lot of people really underestimate this Devimon and are sleeping on it, and not too many realize how explosive this card can be. So on play or when attacking, you trash the top 3 cards of your deck, and then during your turn, this Digimon gets 1000 DP for every 3 cards in your trash. Now, it is not an understatement when I say this. I have swung into my opponent's security with this Devimon with as high as 16k DP. It is nuts. This thing goes crazy. And you can honestly get multiple checks with this card in tandem with the option card, Dark Wings Delusion, where you get even more mill from your deck, and then you can potentially swing into your opponent's security stack for multiple checks for a very high DP count. So this guy is explosive. This is going to be your early way to start milling and building your trash as fast as possible. We play 4 copies, that way we can see them throughout the entirety of the game. You want to use them beginning, you want to use them mid, you want to use them late, right? You just want to use them throughout the entirety of the game. So want to see 4 copies. And then an on deletion effect allows you to trash a card from your opponent's hand randomly. So not only does this guy build your trash, just is able to just swing over into your opponent's security stack or even your opponent's Digimon for a potentially high DP amount, he also can utterly devastate your opponent's hand. So being able to, like, you know, just even if it dies, cool. You want it to die. You want to be able to strip something out of your opponent's hand. If it doesn't die, that's even better. You get full value. You get to continually swing with high DP account. So that's 4 copies. Very explosive card. The 1 copy of the Black Automon, BT8. This is our second body for Rush. Again, your target for Nailbone. So typically, the combo is to Nailbone late game, bringing the Black Automon and the Guilmon from EX4 out. That way you have 2 bodies that can rush immediately. That's a lot of value. Because Nailbone, when you play it normally, you get to bring out any level 3 purple and any level 4 purple. So you get 2 rush bodies to swing. It's amazing. Just do keep in mind, you do have to have over 20 cards accumulated in trash combined between both you and your opponent. So and that's very doable. Even in like the mid game, right? That's very possible that you're going to have more than 20 cards altogether. So 1 copy of the Gato. Then my second favorite is going to be the new Bakimon from BT15. Great effect. When digivolving or on deletion, you get to draw 1 and trash 1. And so you get to... It's basically replacing Eismon scatter mode for me, right? Like, I opted to just not even use the Eismon scatter mode anymore. You know, reason being, even at the 4,000 DP, there have been multiple instances where Eismon still survives the check, and Bakimon has less, so he's more or less likely to survive in a check and will delete itself. So I would prefer to have the consistency over the uncertainty of an Eismon scatter mode, right? Yeah, Eismon scatter mode, the joke being that it has inherent jamming. It's crazy, right? Also, it does have retaliation, but unfortunately we don't have to worry about that since we're not playing any level 5s. We're just solely playing 2 copies of this BT15 Bakimon for the effect of when digivolving and on deletion. So you're basically getting 2 draws and trashing 2. And finally, 1 copy of the promo Raremon. This is a box topper from BT15. No, wait, EX5, excuse me. EX5. This guy is going up in price too. He is averaging 25 to 30 bucks. Unless Bandai decides to reprint this guy as an alt in the future, he's gonna stay that high price, so get him while you can. Otherwise, once the market's supply is lower and lower, it's gonna get more expensive. So I would grab your copies while you can. He has an on-play effect and a when digivolving to trash 1 card and draw 2. So this just helps you search and just get some more cards in hand, resources, things like that. But you know, regardless, he does help you get draws and cards out of your deck. So that's going to be 8 champions altogether. So yeah, again, like I said, my ratios are a little odd, but it works. It absolutely works. Because of the sheer amount of, like, you know, milling and drawing you're going to be doing. Okay, going straight into our level 6s. We're only playing the 4 copies of the boss lady herself, BeelStarmon, or BellaStar. Or is it BeelStar in Japanese? I don't know. But yeah, absolutely amazing Digimon. I'm sure you all know what this card does, especially for those who are familiar with the deck. But for those of you who don't, BeelStarmon has an amazing effect where when you're playing this card from your hand, you get to reduce the play cost by 1 for each 3 Musketeer trait Digimon, and option card with a memory cost of 7. So not only does this include herself as well if she's in the trash, but for every 7 cost option card in your trash, you get to reduce the cost of 1. So say I have 7 cost option cards and 2 BeelStarmons in my trash and I want to play one from my hand, I'm reducing that play cost by 9, so I get to play for 3. That's amazing. Typically you don't want to do play this BeelStarmon for less than 4 in my opinion, but sometimes I've dropped her for 5, sometimes I've dropped her for 7. It really depends on the situation, so just really think and strategize when the best time it is to drop this girl, because when you do, you get to return any 1 option card with a memory cost of 7 from your trash back to your hand, and then you get to play 1 for no cost. So you get to play all sorts of crazy spells that can kill, bring bodies back, things like that. Just all in all, it's board control. You want to control the board and just maintain your presence and just try to devastate your opponent's entire side of the field while you take advantage of that. 4 copies. 1 copy of the Def Xmon from BT9. Still a great floodgate in terms of just board control. It de-digivolves everything on the field when it hits the field or when digivolving, and then you get to delete every level 4 Digimon on your opponent's side of the field. I feel like this is a good countermeasure for D-Brigade, Lugamon, potentially Diabormon in the coming meta, and Armor Rush, and things like that. Honestly, you don't even have to focus on playing this, because obviously you reduce the cost for every card your opponent has by 3, whether Digimon and Tamers. But you could easily just evolve on top of the BeelStarmon for just 6, right? So, great way to do that as well. And, you know, end of your opponent's turn, delete all your opponent's Digimon with the lowest play cost. So, still a great card, and I feel like it's relevant for the meta, and I would definitely play at least the 1 copy in BeelStarmon. And then the final level 7 is going to be the Shine Greymon Ruin Mode. Again, another great card. You know, gives your opponent that minus 5,000 DP status until the end of their turn, and gives you a chance to recover and delete a body as well. Now, granted, you could play 2 of the other and not the other. Like, I used to play 2 Shrine Grey Ruin modes. but I felt the need of playing a Def X mon again, so I swapped it out. Granted, if you don't have this, but you have this, just play 2 of the Def X, right? You can mix and match, right? But for my list at the current moment, this is the ratio. This is the split I went with, and it's been working out fine. All right, going into our option cards, we're going to play 3 copies of Fly Bullet. Fly Bullet allows you to just pop any level 6 or lower Digimon in your opponent's side of the field, and it also triggers in security, so potential security bomb. You play 3 of these. Oh, and one of my new favorite 7-cost options now, 7th Lightning. Not only is it a great staple for BeelStarmon decks, it's a great staple for just neutral, it's just mono purple BeelStar decks. So it gives us a great new option to work with here. So funny enough, this card technically power creeps Fly Bullet in the sense that this also pops level 6s, but it also pops a level 4. So whereas this is more of a flexible delete, this is more of a restricted deleting, right? Because it has to be a level 4 and a level 6. It can't be anywhere between or lower. Whereas this one, you get to choose whether if it's a level between a level 3 and a level 6. But that's why I'm doing this weird split of just playing 3 here and 2 here. Because sometimes I want to be able to pop 2 bodies. You know, sometimes I'm not going to have a Jewel Schwarmer in hand. Sometimes my Happy Bullet Showering isn't going to destroy more than 1 body because my opponent likes to spread out the DP amount of their Digimon. So 7th Lightning is a good choice. I would play 2. You could also go more 7th Lightning and less Fly Bullet, but I think the 3-2 split is pretty good. Next 7-cost option, we're going to play 4 copies of Rivals Barrage. Very, very important card for this deck, especially with the amount of milling we do directly from our deck. This is a very universal tool for the deck. Not only does it allow you to recover back purple pieces, but purple Tamers from your trash as well. So this is a great way to target your BeelStarmons in your trash. If you end up seeing them too early in your trash and not in your hand, you could bring back your Def X-Mons or Shine Gray Ruin modes, things like that. It also, just a main effect, you get to delete the highest level Digimon in your opponent's side of the field. And it also triggers insecurity. So, 4 copies. This is just your way to recycle your pieces as well as deleting bodies when you need. Next, 1 copy of Nailbone, because again, you don't want to see too many Nailbones, especially, you know, seeing it triggering security early and you don't have any bodies to play from your trash. It feels bad. Typically happens a lot when I play more than 1, so I just dropped it down to 1, and honestly, you only need this Nailbone for the game-ending play. So only 1 copy, and you're gonna see it. You will guarantee see it in your trash, or your hand, so have it there ready to go. So just 1 copy. We're gonna play 1 copy of the Happy Bullet Showering, because this still comes in clutch for me, especially with matchups like Commandramon, basically decks that play multiple Digimon with the same DP. You know, typically this helps get rid of floodgates or things like that. Or even if your opponent likes to be cheeky and greedy and they have like 2 level 6 stacks with the same DP level, you just Happy Bullet Showering, just get rid of them. I've done it quite a bit. It feels great. You're thinking, oh, it's a red card. How are you playing red and a purple? Well, funny you should ask that. For those of you who don't know, this card allows you to ignore color requirements so long as you have a 3 Musketeer trait Digimon on the field, which is going to be your BeelStarmon, so you're okay. Finally, our last 7-cost option is going to be 1 copy of the Jewel Schwarmer. Definitely just board wipes the entire field as long as they're play cost 7 or less, including your bodies. So it can be beneficial for you as well, especially if you want to have whatever Digimon on your board deleted. So say I swing with the Devimon. Survives in check, but I want it to die. I could just Jewel Schwarmer. Get the benefits. Reap the benefits of Devimon dying and just strip a card out of your opponent's hand. So, good board wipe card. Helps you get out of some situations that are not looking too good. So we're playing 9, 10, 11, 12. 7 costs. It's 12. I used to do like 14, but, you know, I think 12 is good now. I don't need 14. All right. We're gonna play 3 copies of Wisdom Training. Wish I could make room for a 4th, but 3 is plenty. I mostly use this to help reduce the evolution cost for Devimon, because Devimon is kind of expensive. 3 cost. So this helps you kind of maintain turn after evolving. That way you could ensure the swing into security to get the 5-card mill. And that's factoring if you have the X antibody Intmon underneath its sources. So it's a great card to have, and it also lets you search your pieces. So 3 copies here. Oh man, this card is great. Darkwing's Delusion, 3 of these. On play, you get to, well, when you play, you get to trash the top 3 cards of your deck, and then one of your Devimon in its name. It doesn't have to be strictly Devimon. So you could use this for Dan Devimon. You could use this for Neo Devimon. But regardless, they get security +1 for the turn. Also activates insecurity. So if your opponent hits this, you're milling 3 cards. So it only helps you even more. So 3 copies here. 1 copy of Calling from Darkness. Still a strong card. It makes sense that it got hit to 1. Lets you get back up to 2 purple Digimon from your trash back to your hand. Recover your BeelStars when you need them. Went back to using 2 copies of Mismemory Boost. Still a great card, and I'm glad I put them back in, because the extra memory does help, and not only that, it also mills 2 off the top of your deck, and then you get to draw 1. For our Tamers, only playing the 1 copy of Matashita, because memory isn't too important. I've basically noticed having too many of this ends up breaking my deck, so just the 1 copy is fine. I only ever really need to see 1. If you happen to have it on the board, that's great. You get to start your turn at 3 every turn now. But all turns once per turn, if you happen to trash a card in your hand, by suspending the stamina, you gain 1 memory. And I needed more space for my Mimis. So I value the Mimis here, the 2-cost Mimis from BT3 more than the Memory Setter, because anytime a option card is played by a player, you may suspend this Tamer to gain 1 memory. It's an all turns effect. Not only does this work during my turn, but I could potentially scum a memory off of my opponent's turn and force them to end their turn after they use an option. I've had this happen multiple times where my opponent would try to a delicate plan at 1 memory, going to 0, then I would just suspend 1, passing their turn. So they just lost out on hitting my security. It's a great play. It feels great scumming your opponent, thinking they're going to maintain their turn at 0, only to find out I'm going to pass the turn with the Mimi. So, and that's the deck, chat. So basic strategy. Literally, it's simple. It's very easy. This is basically the game plan you do in order to turbo out your trash and get it built as fast as possible. That's all you need. It's just these 3 cards. You only need really these 3 cards. And honestly, to get to these 3 cards, especially if you're looking for that Devimon, dude, just chances are you're always going to find one with the Wisdom Training, and then you have the Wisdom Training set up for next turn to Evo into Devimon for just 1. So you'll be guaranteed. So say this was in your raising with a Pagu. You played the mental Wisdom Training to pass, you reveal the Devimon, you grab the Devimon. Now this is in your hand. Comes your turn, boom, pop the Wisdom, go into Devi for 1, draw, and now you're going to swing. You get to mill 5 right off the bat, and if it dies, that's 2 more cards. So you're getting 7 cards immediately into your trash, on top of being able to potentially pull a card out of your opponent's hand. It is very strong. This combo right here, this combination is super strong. If you want to get even spicier, Darkwing's Delusion without passing turn, not only now do you get to mill an extra 3 cards, you get to get security +1, and it also gives them the buff. So now that is going to be potentially 10 cards going into your trash. 10 cards immediately into your trash from deck if it dies. If it doesn't, you're only getting the 7. Right? No, 8. It's 8 actually, because it's 3, 6, 7, 8. So not only now he gets a 2k buff, so he's swinging for 2 checks at 8k. That's That's pretty possible. You're gonna survive that check. Mid game, but again, like I said, you guys have to see the destructive potential in this combo. It is nuts. Like I said, for those of you who are in despair, who are crying, who are in pain because of the ban list in March 1st, and you guys are losing out on your Gabu engine from BeelStar, don't worry. I'm here to help. This is the next best thing to do. The Devimon engine. I call it the Devil Trigger. Featuring Dante from Devil May Cry. Anyway, chat, I hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. I hope you guys give this BeelStarmon deck list a chance. I'm telling you, use this Devimon engine in your BeelStar deck. Playtest it and let me know what you guys think. It is very good. I think it's great, and I hope that this blows up, and I hope more people start utilizing the BT15 Devimon engine for their BeelStarmon deck. Anyway, chat, that's all from me. I gotta go to work. I got more Digimon to sling, so I will catch you guys all in the next one. So until next time, you guys all be well, be safe, and as always, be hungry for more. Bye-bye.